In the early 2000s, renting a movie meant walking through these aisles and hoping the title you wanted was actually available. At the time, Blockbuster's dominance of this retail ritual was absolute. They operated thousands of global storefronts, serving millions of customers and generating billions in recurring revenue. But this massive physical footprint had a hidden vulnerability. Blockbuster's profitability relied on a static era of technology and the assumption that customer habits would never change. Their scale created an illusion of permanence, making it difficult for leadership to see how quickly a technological shift could dismantle their entire foundation. In 2000, Netflix was a tiny startup mailing DVDs in red envelopes. During a meeting that year, co-founder Reed Hastings offered to sell the business to Blockbuster for $50 million. Blockbuster declined the offer. Their stores were profitable, their customers were consistent, and they assumed their existing retail model would remain the industry standard indefinitely. They optimized for the business they currently had, while the consumer behavior that would eventually replace them was already shifting in the shadows. Netflix attacked the market by mailing these discs directly to homes. By removing late fees, they eliminated the primary anxiety of the traditional rental experience. This model removed the friction of the retail experience. Customers no longer had to rush to meet return deadlines or worry about finding empty shelves at a storefront. Once a consumer experiences a simpler alternative, the friction of older habits becomes an unacceptable burden. Netflix leveraged absolute convenience as their primary competitive weapon, moving beyond the logistics of physical media to address the customer's desire for a frictionless experience. By 2007, Netflix was the leader in DVD delivery. Despite that success, they made the radical decision to launch a digital streaming service. It was a risky pivot. Internet speeds were often too slow for high-quality video, the digital library was small, and most customers still preferred physical discs. Netflix released a limited product in the short term because they were betting on the expansion of this infrastructure. They anticipated that broadband would eventually become a global standard. As internet speeds improved and smart TVs became common household appliances, the global market finally aligned with Netflix's digital-first strategy. Blockbuster, tethered to its massive network of physical stores, finally collapsed under the weight of an obsolete business model. Lasting success often requires a company to cannibalize its own winning strategy before a competitor does it for them. By the late 2010s, Netflix had become the new global establishment in entertainment. This chart shows the fracturing of the streaming market. As Netflix's success became clear, rival studios launched competing platforms to reclaim their audience. These legacy studios began pulling their movies and shows off Netflix, hoarding their most valuable content to fuel their own services. As subscriber growth slowed, Wall Street investors began to question if Netflix could maintain its leadership in a fractured market. This highlights a paradox of leadership. The aggressive tactics used to conquer an industry are rarely the same ones needed to defend it. Netflix responded by spending billions on original productions, ensuring their library would no longer depend on licensed content from their competitors. They also introduced unpopular changes, including ad-supported tiers and a crackdown on password sharing to stabilize their revenue. While many predicted these moves would alienate the audience, the reinvention worked. The company added millions of new subscribers. The biggest threat to any empire is the belief that yesterday's strategy guarantees tomorrow's survival. In a shifting market, endurance demands continuous mutation.